Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. History Repeats, written by Kayson. Galactic Council Grand Chambers, the core. What this council refuses to understand is that this war is already lost, shouted a former fleet commander, Karak Thanak, from the floor of the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council. This war was lost before it even began. Shouting and insults erupted around the chamber, the supposedly civilized representatives demanding his immediate execution. The prisoner will restrain themselves or they will be removed from this trial, shouted the speaker, a tall, impossibly thin, Armenian female, her voice rising to cut through the chaos. When quiet returned, she folded her forearms over one another and peered down at Karak Thanak from the speaker's stand. She had met the being before, just after her predecessor, may he rest with the ancestors, had appointed him fleet commander. She'd found him an impressive and intelligent being. Karak Thanak, the speaker said at last, you stand here today stripped of your rank, your position, and your honor, accused of dereliction of duty and desertion in the face of the enemy. She paused, letting the words sink in. Per law set down by the esteemed council, you, as the greatest sapient and a member of the council race, are granted an open hearing to provide your accounting of events. The speaker recited. You have 1 hour, fleet commander. Karak Thanak looked up at the speaker, then at the representatives sitting in their respective stands in the chamber. It began when we discovered the humans excavating ruins on a rogue planet in the void outside their cradle system. Bridge of the indomitable interstellar space. Keep it at limits of sensor range, Karak Thanak said, watching the dots of the human vessels orbiting the cold, dead world. What the hell were they up to now, he wondered, tapping his nails against the armrest in agitation. On council orders, he had managed to punch a hole through the human lines and was now deep within enemy territory. The rift weapon the humans had demonstrated on the fringes of Kurang systems had caused chaos amongst the council representatives, and the order had gone out to eliminate the human homeworlds, no matter the cost. The problem was, no one actually knew where the human homeworlds were, or how many they had. Captured vessels had a nasty habit of self-destruction, and captured humans had yet to reveal anything useful beyond how colorful their language could be. It was a fool's mission, and he was being forced to play the part of the fool. What could they possibly want with a rogue planet? The first officer Sarang wondered aloud. To avoid detection, they'd been skipping the edge of the system's heliosphere and pushing their scanners to their limits. So far, it seemed to be working, and they had located several human outposts and colonies which they had wiped out without too much effort. In order to keep the humans from determining their location, he ordered a skip into deep space where they could lie low for a time. It had been a complete coincidence that they had detected the human engine signatures in the deep dark. Knowing humans, could be anything, so stay alert, Karak Thanak replied. He liked Sarang, more than his first law officer anyway, who had resigned after seeing the demonstration of the humans' terrifying rift weapon several months before. The Spinaz were an odd species compared to much of the galaxy, a kind of genderless shape-shifting goo that took on a vaguely bipedal form when dealing with other species, but was still far easier to work with than those stick-up-the-arse techno-organics. Confirmation to ship classifications, Fleet Commander, reported the sensor operative. There appears to be several smaller science vessels and a single light cruiser. Karak Thanak considered his options. Why were the humans interested in the rogue planet, of all things? Rogue planets were worthless. Nothing but frozen rocks hurtling through the void between star systems. Even those rich in minerals and metals were far too dangerous and expensive to exploit when countless barren worlds and asteroid belts orbited nice, warm planets. They could attack, destroy what they could, and move on before the reinforcements could arrive. Or they could try capture the planet, investigate what could be so damned important to the humans that they'd waste resources during a war. It was tempting to destroy the vessel and bomb the planet before moving on, but Karak Thanak couldn't stop thinking that he'd found something important. As much as he hated to admit it, he knew how this war was going to end. The Council and humanity simply did not share the same views of warfare. Where the Council spent years building the grandest warships the galaxy had ever seen, humanity churned out cruisers and destroyers and battleships almost daily. where the council awarded commands to those from wealthy and prestigious families, regardless of merit, humanity had cultivated an officer class who dedicated their lives to the study of warfare. It was only thanks to their technological lead that the council hadn't lost already, and that was a gap the humans were quickly closing. "Prepare jamming systems," ordered Karakthenak. "Inform the fleet no signals are allowed to be sent and no one gets away. I want this done quickly and quietly." Excavation Team Nomad, PSO J315.5-22. "We just lost connection to the Harvey Birdman," reported Captain Terry Hughes, pushing his glasses back on his nose and glancing across the silent, frozen chamber at his only companion. "Probably just interference or radiation or something," replied Dr. Leah Maris, without looking up from where she haunched over her slate. "Come see the scans." Terry sighed, stowed his communicator in his jacket, and made his way over to her. They were deep beneath the frozen crust of the rogue world, exploring yet another empty chamber, his breath fogging in the air. "Looks like carvings," he said as he bent over Leah to look at the screen over her shoulder. "Exactly," Leah exclaimed. "Carvings." Terry scratched his beard. "So we found another dead civ. I don't get the big deal," he said. "Ugh, don't you ever read the briefings, Terry?" said Leah, rolling her eyes. "Seriously, why do they keep teaming me with you anyway?" "Because no one else can put up with you," answered Terry. "It's not just another dead civilization," said Leah, ignoring Terry's comment. "It's the proof that we've been looking for. Just look at this pictogram. It's the same that I saw before." "Not this again, Leah," groaned Terry. "Saurids are not real. They did not exist." "That's not what Command believes," retorted Leah. "Command is desperate to find more tech like the Rift Cannon," said Terry. "They've got teams like us scouring planets and moons all over the arm." "I know what I saw, Terry," Leah said, standing up and facing him. "You want me to pop this lock or not?" Terry asked, gesturing at the large double doors before them. Leah looked at the door and hesitated a moment, then gave a curt nod. "Fire in the hole," said Terry sarcastically, walking up to the doors as he pulled a long tube from his pack and began squeezing its contents out like toothpaste over the seams of the door. There was a fizz and a smell of burning hair, followed by the slight rush of air as the sealed doors popped. They swung open. "Oh, feck me," said Terry, staring at a statue in the center of the room. "Told you so," said Leah. Parliament of the Collective Worlds, the core, 65 million years ago. "The chair recognizes the representatives of the Saurids," pronounced the speaker, a cheerful Kiri female, her ring-patterned tail lazily swishing from side to side. A tall, feathered creature dressed in elegant robes rose from the stands and bowed in the chamber. "Thank you, speaker," said the Saurid, her melodic voice like music to the ears of the other races. "I come before you all today to discuss the recent proposal put forth by the opposition to restrict access to this body." The various representatives and diplomats within the chamber chittered and muttered to each other. "As you all know, the opposition has proposed that a law be passed that will divide the galaxy, that will prevent our brothers and sisters who join us in the stars from having a voice in the affairs of the galaxy they share." The Saurid continued, her voice commanding the attention of the room once more. "The Saurid will not allow this bill to pass, cannot let this bill pass. It flies in the face of all the collective stands for, of all that we have strived for since we first reached for the stars." A chorus of agreement filled the room. "Furthermore, the very notion of labeling another as lesser, based simply on their technological level at the time of first contact, is abhorrent," the Saurid concluded. "So, you would continue to allow primitives and savages to influence galactic policy?" shouted a voice from the stands. "The chamber recognizes the Imenian representative," said the speaker. "We would see all treated as equals," replied the Saurid, "just as we did when we discovered your own people." "Equals?" scoffed the Imenian, tugging on his arms to indicate amusement. "How can any of us be equals to the first?" "Though we were the first to leave our cradle and travel the stars, we do not see ourselves as anything but equal to those that came after," said the Sauron. "You were all our beloved." "Beloved?" spat the Armenian. "Ah, we are nothing but children and pets to your kind." This garnered some mutterings from the chamber. Our proposal puts but a pause on new races joining our collective, the Armenian went on. A temporary period during which they may be introduced to our ways and evaluated for suitability. Or would you prefer to risk another Terranian incursion? The Terranian incursion was a tragic misunderstanding, the Saurid had argued. They were fleeing a galaxy ravaged by war. They knew no other way of life. And your policies let them ravage this galaxy, shouted the Armenian. You welcomed them with open arms, and entire worlds burned. Even when it was done, you let them stay, and you made them members of the collective. The speaker took note of the Terranian representative was oddly not present. We all have dark times in our past, said the Surid. We Surids were once carnivorous scavengers and waged terrible war upon one another. We cannot just cast judgment upon an entire race simply because we happen to have lived through their dark time. A number of heads or limbs bobbed in agreement. It was true that the Terranian incursion had been terrible. Millions had died, but the Terranian had been nothing but civil since, and their eager participation in the reconstruction efforts had gone a long way towards repairing their image. Our proposal seeks to prevent future misunderstandings, the Armenian representative argued. Had our law been in place, the Taurians would never have been able to gain access to our networks, never would have known our defenses, and their threats would have been identified and stopped before lives were lost. A large number of representatives cheered at this, causing the Surid to furrow her brows in confusion. Under the very rules you propose, that a race must master faster-than-light technology in order to join the collective as a full member, the Armenian peoples would not have been able to join when we founded this grand federation together so long ago, said the Saurid. None bar we Saurids have discovered this technology on our own, for we gladly shared it as a gift to all. So you would have us believe, said the Armenian representative, always the benevolent parents guided the path of technology. We will not let this proposal pass, the Saurid repeated. It is an affront to all sapiens. Do you see, my fellow representatives? Asked the Armenian of the chamber. They call us equals and then deny it in the same breath. Beyond the heliosphere of Sol, 65 million years ago. Do it, came the message from the Armenian representative. Prepare the payload for delivery, ordered the Terranian commander. Are you sure about this? Asked the Terranian pilot. Once I drop from FTL, I won't stop until it hits something. That's the plan, said the Terranian commander. Once those Saurid bastards are out of the way, this galaxy will be ours! Release! Dropping from FTL just beyond the heliosphere of Saurid home system, the Terranian ship broke into real space with a bright flash. Payload away, the pilot reported. Unseen in the dark, the asteroid flew, hurtling towards a distant pale blue dot. Excavation Team Nomad, PSO J318.5-22. Now you know the truth of what happened to us, the Saurid recording stated. Our home world was destroyed. Nothing survived. We were not a prolific people. Our colonies dependent on the home world for much. We are few now, and it will not be long before we are gone. I leave this recording as evidence that we existed, and hope that someday another will take our place. Holy fecking crap, said Terry. Talking space dinos! Do you know what this means? Asked Leah. Yeah, there are talking space dinos, said Terry. It means the Council has been lying about everything, said Leah. This should change everything. Galactic Council Grand Chambers, the core. We intercepted the humans Leah Mears and Terry Hughes as they exited the underground structures, recounted Karaktanak. Human Terry Hughes resisted and was unfortunately killed in the process, but human Leah Mears was much more cooperative. She was more than eager to share with us the recordings and data that my crew is currently sharing with the rest of the galaxy, Karaktanak continued. You can understand my surprise in learning of my people's role in this affair. Around the room, representative communicators were chiming as more and more alerts came in. I felt it only my duty to return human Leah Mears to her people and surrender myself on behalf of my ancestors, Karaktanak said. as the chamber became filled with confused horror. It was great a surprise when the humans granted me and my forces what they call asylum. What have you done? Demanded the speaker, her own communicator going off incessantly. There is a human saying that I learned recently, said Karak-Thanak. If you don't learn from history, history will bite you in the ass. End of story. I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon WRE, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.